Hello everybody, it's Joanne here. Welcome to Perky Penny Paper Arts. Today we are going to combine our word and shape dies to create interesting new variations for the front of our cards. For more information, please visit my blog at www.perkypennypapers.com and follow my Instagram at perkypennypapers. If you enjoy this video, please like it and share it and subscribe to my channel to see when new videos are uploaded. A list of supplies is available in the description of this video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. This is the inspiration for today's card. It was my twin's birthday and my daughter is a musician. I had a beautiful staff with notes die cut, but I didn't want to just cut it out and stick it on the front of a regular card. Then I had the idea to use a square stitched scallop die and make the musical notes one of the corners by cutting them both out of the same paper and discreetly attaching them together, creating the illusion that it is one piece instead of two or more, as you'll see in some of these examples. In this example, I used an oval stitched scallop die and the Hello die from Ellen Hudson to create a pretty frame for these beautiful tropical flowers. I combined not one but 4 dies to embellish the front of this card. I almost think the more dies you combine, the more fun it is. And that brings us to today's card, a sweet little number all dressed up in the beauty of Distress Oxide inks in the colors Worn Lipstick and Cracked Pistachio. I used the Written in the Stars stamp set with coordinating dies from My Favorite Things to create this card. The set features large word stamps with some great sentiments to go along. There are 2 different die sets that coordinate with this stamp set. We have the Star and Stars word die that is combined with some tiny stars you can use to accent the words, and the Star Shaker dies that can be combined with these Star Shaker pouches to create a fun and easy card when time is of the essence. Now let's make a card. I cut 4 stars and 4 stars words from 100-pound cover cardstock. I took 1 word and 1 star and lined them up how I wanted them positioned on the front of the card. I marked the areas on the star that lined up and would provide a small amount of space to apply glue and adhere the word die. I then stacked all 4 of the star dies on top of each other and cut them at the same time so the cuts are in the same place. I used my Zig 2-way squeeze and roll glue pen to apply glue around the star, making sure to put a little extra on the spaces where the word and the shape would intersect. The word die is then put in place and pressed down to secure. Alternating between shape and word, I adhered all pieces on top of each other after making sure that they lined up exactly. The glue pen is somewhat forgiving and makes this process very easy. By swiping the Cracked Pistachio Distressed Oxide ink pad directly on some 100-pound cardstock, I created yummy custom paper that I could use to die cut the top layer of my dimensional piece and the tiny star accents. I will set these aside now while we create the soft cloud background that will frame our sentiment. I took a 5.5 inch by 4.25 inch piece of Bristol smooth cardstock and cut a rectangle out of it with the scalloped rectangle dies from Lawn Fawn. I used the second largest die in this set. I really like this paper for blending with these inks. The color fills in easily and beautifully. It really does blend like butter. I took this cloud stencil from My Favorite Things and chose the side I wanted to work with. I placed it a short distance from the top of the scallops and with an ink blending tool applied Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide ink generously to the cardstock. Look at it when I pull it away. It's just beautiful. Then, without re-inking, I repeat that 2 more times, moving slightly toward the center of the page each time. I then flipped the card around and repeated this on the other side. I put some tape runner on the back of this panel and centered it on a 5.5 inch by 4.25 inch card base. I was just about to place down my dimensional piece when I realized I hadn't stamped my sentiment. I already had the Oh My stamp positioned on my Misty. I put the card in the corner I had set up for the stamp and made sure the positioning was correct by placing the die cut piece where I wanted it on the card and then hovering the stamp over it to make sure the placement was correct. I set the dimensional piece aside and stamped the sentiment with the cracked pistachio ink. Using the glue pen, I glued the dimensional piece over the stamped sentiment and pressed down once I was happy with the placement. I then took the cracked pistachio star and cut it in the same place I had cut the layering stars before. Another layer of glue pen over the top of the dimensional piece and placement of the star, word, and accent stars finish this card off. I really think this card could be used for many different occasions. Birthday, thank you, or maybe just a letter for your best friend. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time here at Perky Penny Papers.